Next on the Broadway show, To the Rock and Beyond, we're walking through the career of Tony nominee Jen Colella. Plus, Oh What a Night, the long-running musical about the Four Seasons returns to the New York City stage. And The Good Book will introduce you to one of the young stars of the Book of Mormon, Kevin Clay. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show. So glad you're with us for this latest edition of The Broadway Show. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and it's going to be a good one, but it always is, especially now that Broadway is back. One of my favorites, Jen Colella, earned her first Tony nomination in 2017 for her performance in Come From Away. But her incredible theater career goes a lot deeper than that. Paul's here with that interview.
Thanks, Tamsen. From quick closers to long runs to a Tony nomination, Jen Colella is a real Broadway pro. We hit the streets of the theater district to talk and walk through her resume. So Jen, this is the Broadhurst Theater.
Yep.
Those doors, the stage door right there, this was where you made your Broadway debut.
Right here.
This is right here. I saw
right
that.
here.
That was Urban Cowboy.
Yes.
The musical. Sissy.
That's right. I got to ride a bull, start a bar fight.
You did.
I had two leading men. One was bad, one was good.
That's right.
Yeah.
Both very dashing.
Very dashing.
Very dashing men.
Yeah. Remember one of the slogans for Urban Cowboy was the best butts and biggest hearts on Broadway? Do you recall this?
I do now. That show didn't make it, but it was fun.
It was fun.
Whenever a show doesn't make it and there are two young actors in the lead roles, I always kind of worry about them. Like, how did that affect you that your first show maybe had all that attention on it and then just didn't run?
Well, what's interesting is that I didn't even know that was a possibility, right? I signed a year contract, so when I came in after the opening night and everybody was kind of dour sitting on stage and having a meeting, I was like, what's wrong? Wasn't that a fun party? What's going on?
Do you still have the Urban Cowboy tattoo?
I do, absolutely.
You do, you have a tattoo.
Bam,
You're
bam, bam.
The Schoenfeld Theater.
That's right.
Hey, this show, I hear this show's good.
It's a good one.
This show is quite a big chunk of your life.
Yeah,
Continues
indeed.
to be
That's right.
a big part of your life.
That's
Tony
right.
nomination.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
Beverly Bass, playing a real woman, and I met you with her, and she became a part of your life as well.
Indeed.
But Come From Away, this has really, when this show got to Broadway,
Yes.
I didn't know. I didn't know if it was going to find an audience, if it was going to make it.
We didn't either.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't, the name, right? Until
Right.
you know. If
Right.
you know, you know. Come From Away. There weren't any like huge stars in it,
Yeah.
right? And it, you know, it has a heavy backdrop. But look what happened to it.
Amazing.
It's the little show that could and still does.
Yeah.
Easily the best show to take anyone that you know to.
It's very much an ensemble show.
Indeed.
But you got this amazing spotlight moment in this show, Me in the Sky.
That's right.
Which is a beautiful song that tells the story of Beverly Bass of being a pilot on 9/11.
Yeah.
Suddenly I'm in the cockpit. Suddenly I've got my wings.
What was it like to get center stage and have that moment every night?
Terrifying.
Yeah.
I like being part of the herd. I like being in the ensemble. So every time I had to step forward, it was scary.
Yeah.
The best part of that song is when the girls
Yeah.
step up behind me and I
Yeah.
know they're about to sing with me and I'm folded back into the ensemble. But stepping away from the herd, especially in a piece like this, felt really, really scary.
Not comfortable. Interesting.
Not very comfortable. Yeah, that's
know
the truth.
That's the Imperial. That's an enormous theater, and you were in a little musical, High Fidelity.
Yes, that's
based
right.
on the movie.
Yes.
Didn't run.
Well, it did.
It didn't run. I mean, it's a fact.
That is a fact. It did run for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I saw it.
It didn't run for a long time.
It was a modern rock musical.
It was awesome. The
Yeah.
music was incredible. Yeah, it was super, super fun to
Yeah.
do.
Was it sad that it closed?
It was super sad.
Yeah, I remember.
Because each new show, like, a lot of us were there from the beginning, so it takes years and years and years.
Yeah.
And then you have 2 weeks, and it's a gut punch. It's
Yeah.
just so shocking. But the cast album is
Amazing.
available, and it's dope.
The Richard Rogers.
Yes.
You were not in Hamilton.
No,
You were in another show that ran here. This was the first show that had a
this
nice
show
run.
ran. Yes.
We were all cheering for you. You got a
Thank
nice run out of this
Thanks,
one.
buddy.
It was called If Then, and it ran because of
Idina Menzel.
Idina Menzel. But what was amazing about this show is that you were doing it out of town in Washington, D.C. when the movie Frozen came out.
That's right.
And literally, you were all with Adina when you saw her become Adele Dazeem.
Well, that's right.
And internationally
It was
notorious,
wild.
and her voice, and
Yes.
they were falling off that song. Isn't that
Yes,
crazy?
it was wild. I remember her coming into rehearsals early and being like, I just finished this Disney thing. I don't know how it's going to turn out. And it turned out to be
That Disney
Frozen. And we were like, it turned out okay for you.
So Adina played Elizabeth, Liz, Beth. There's all these different versions of
That's
her.
right.
That was sort of the idea of the show.
That's right.
You played Anne.
Yes.
But you also covered Adina Menzel.
I
You
did.
were like the second.
I was the secret second cover. It wasn't even in the program. Tom Kitt had asked me if I would play this role, and then he said, also, we might need you to be second cover for Adina. And I was like, put me in the game, coach. Of course, I'll never go on.
Picture it. I'm in my office one day and I hear like I got like a bat phone lit up. Jen Colella is on as Elizabeth, and I booked over here and I got to see you. Is that the one time you went on?
One matinee.
That was amazing.
It's like a Wednesday matinee. I love that you were here.
Of course.
I love that you came. I was terrified because the first line of the show is meant to be
Right.
a star line for Adina.
She says.
She says, hey, it's me.
Right.
And the crowd goes nuts.
The crowd roars.
And I'm standing there waiting, and the lights come up, and I was like, hey, it's me.
You played Hedda Hopper.
I played Hedda Hopper.
At this theater,
That's
the
right.
Paramount Theater in Chaplin.
Chaplin the musical.
I love Chaplin the
I
musical.
love Chaplin the musical.
It was so fantastic.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah.
What?
I mean, to be clear, I've loved every show that I've ever done. It's the truth, regardless of whether or not they ran.
Yeah.
But this was a very, very special piece for many reasons.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Warren Carlyle designed something
Yeah.
so gorgeous. It looked stunning. And then Rob McClure
Rob McClure, yeah.
was absolutely breathtaking.
Who's now in Doubtfire the musical.
He's now in
Yes,
Doubtfire the
having a
musical,
big
which
moment.
I cannot wait to see.
So good.
And the entire cast was stunning, and it was my first like villain role.
Yeah.
So I got to be all like twisty mustache.
Yeah.
Mwah. It was awesome.
The gossip maven of
Oh.
old Hollywood.
It was delightful.
Yeah, and you got to wear great costumes.
Great costumes, great
and you
hats.
got to talk dramatically.
I sure
and
did.
sing dramatically.
I sure did. Look here, see?
So when you look back on all of these theaters that we got to walk, starting with Sissy, you know, at the Broadhurst Theater,
Yes.
how does it feel to sort of look at your resume and see what you've been able to pull off and sort of maybe look at what's ahead? How do you feel?
It's very sweet. It's humbling and sweet. As a young kid growing up in South Carolina, where there wasn't a lot of theater at the time, I didn't know that I would make it to Broadway at all. And to now have this opportunity to take this ride with you to these different theaters and to know that I've had the opportunity to play in more than one Broadway house is absolutely thrilling. It's an honor, every single one. Thank you for taking me on the ride.
Absolutely.
It was so
I
fun.
can't wait to see the next theater you'll be at.
Thank you, buddy.
And Jen Colella will be heading back to the New York stage beginning March 10th in the world premiere musical Suffs at the Public Theater. The show brings to life a complicated chapter in America's history, the women's suffrage movement. Opening night set for April 6th.
In sleep he sang to me, in dreams he came.
Broadway's longest-running musical continues to make history. Emily Kawachu is the first Black leading actress in Phantom of the Opera. This history-making moment happens as Phantom celebrates its 34th year on Broadway. It won the Tony, it won the Grammy, it won the Olivier Award. Now Jersey Boys is back on the New York City stage. It's a story of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Charlie Cooper is here with the story.
Thanks, Tamsin. Aaron DeJesus returns to his role as Frankie Valli in Jersey Boys. We sat down here at the Renaissance Hotel to talk about the beloved show and so much more. So you're returning back to New York
Yes.
in Jersey Boys. Can you kind of talk about what it feels like to just be back rehearsing and just being on stage?
For me, there were a couple of moments where it was a little emotional, like getting back in. When we finally worked through the entire show and started singing Who Loves You, which is kind of like the finale and everybody comes in at the end. No one could tell because I have the mask covering my face, but I was like, oh, this is good, this is really good, it's nice to be back, you know? I got a little emotional. But it's great. It's great to be a part of this show. It's great to be coming back, knowing that our show is gonna bring joy. It always brings so much joy to the audiences, and at a time like this one, that's what we need, and we need to get back to life.
Is it a different kind of pressure to play someone who's still alive, who can essentially be like, you didn't do a good job, or you did a great job?
It's weird. Let me tell you. It's one thing playing like Nicely Nicely Johnson, which is a character from Guys and Dolls that's not even real, but to play someone like Frankie Valli, who's living and breathing and who has literally sat in the audience on multiple occasions and watched me play him. And so there's pressure. They of course, they don't necessarily want us to do a perfect impersonation of him. As an actor, we always bring part of ourselves to the roles that we play. But there is definitely like a pressure. You want to impress the person that you're playing. You want to make sure that you honor who they are and who they were, and that you do it in a way that's respectful and that they can see is respectful and honest and true. Yeah.
I love that. So you're obviously a performer, your wife is a performer, and you guys have a daughter.
We do.
Is she going to become a performer? And if not, or if so, regardless, do you have any advice for her or kids in general who might want to get into theater?
Yeah, so in the last couple of years, she's finally started to show interest in the business and performing. We got her involved in some like youth theater programs and things like that. She really, really enjoys it. If you'd asked her before that what she wanted to be, like an actor would be on the bottom of her list. She wanted to be a scientist, she wanted to be a doctor or a veterinarian or something like that. And we'll see, that'll change. And we're not pushing her, but she'll have all the support that we can give and all the understanding of our experiences in the business to kind of back her up if that's really something she wants to do. There's a duality in the business where you kind of have to be tough-skinned. There's a lot of rejection, but at the same time you have to be accessible to your emotions as an actor. You've got to be able to make yourself vulnerable, in a moment so that you can connect to the material, connect to the character. It's a tricky balance. And if you connect your entire being, your purpose of life, if you put all that into one aspect of your life and it's difficult and it's hard, it's going to affect everything else in your life. So I always tell people to have balance in life. Make sure to have balance in life.
And I read that you hate running, but I think you've run like a whole bunch of marathons. Is there anything that you have to do for Broadway that you completely are just like, I hate doing this, but I have to do it? For my role?
Yeah, I mean, the running and the exercising, I don't necessarily love the process of doing those things, but I like how I feel, I like how I look when I'm done, and so, you kind of have to take the good with the bad, right? Yeah. But yeah, that's true. I've run over something ridiculous like 2,300 miles over the last 10 or 12 years. I started running, and I still just like this, they talk about a runner's high. They're crazy. They're crazy. I don't get it.
But you keep doing it.
I don't get it. I do.
There's still a whole lot more to talk about on this edition of The Broadway Show. Coming up, Broadway and Beyond. We'll introduce you to one of Broadway's stage managers who's opening doors for people of color in New York City and around the world. I'm Tamsin Fidel, and this is The Broadway Show, and we'll be right back. The Mormons are back. It's one of Broadway's funniest and best-loved musicals, and one of the rising young stars of the Book of Mormon is Kevin Clay, and he is this week's Fresh Face.
Hi, I'm Kevin Clay, and I play Elder Price in the Book of Mormon. I grew up in Northern Virginia, 30 minutes south of DC. My first time on stage, I was 8 years old, and I guess I showed some knack for singing enough that I was cast as Yankee Doodle Dandy. I mean, as classic as it gets. So I'm singing like Yankee Doodle Dandy and Give My Regards to Broadway in this little George M. Cohan kind of review show for 8-year-olds. My voice teacher in high school put together a list of some schools, and out of his list, Penn State kind of fit the bill. Fortunately, I made it into the program, and I think that's when it clicked. I first realized that I could dedicate 4 years of my college education to performing. The Book of Mormon first came out when I was a freshman in college, so I had just started at Penn State, and as a kid, I was already a South Park fan. I immediately got the cast album. I'm listening to the cast album. I'm memorizing it. I know all the songs. I'm obsessed. I love it. But naturally, the way that a lot of Broadway shows go, except for the occasional Phantom or Wicked or whatever, I'm 18 years old and I'm going, oh, there's no way that this show is still going to be happening by the time I graduated. I was like, this was my perfect show, and I missed it. 5 years later, I get a call to just come in, one for the books, another clean-faced boy like me in there to just have in the roster, I guess. Luckily, a slot was opening up on the tour. That sort of kickstarted my now 6-year journey with the show. This show, what it means to me is it has been my growing up. I very much feel like I started out the show as a kid. I became a standby for Elder Price and sort of sitting backstage each night and letting some of those responsibilities kick in, and then eventually taking over as Elder Price is madness. My face is on double-decker buses in London. I'm on one of the posters right outside the theater, like the Broadway Theater, and it's a dream. Being in a comedy right now is really important. Despite any of the adult humor or the crassness or whatever, the show for me is a really hopeful show and is a show that is just teeming with positivity. So I think it's really special to be a part of a show that is, it's just genius.
Thanks for staying with us for this latest episode of The Broadway Show. Glad you're here. The Broadway community had a reckoning during the 18 months the lights were off. After the murder of George Floyd, a spark was ignited in the push to increase diversity on the Great Bright Way, both on stage and behind the scenes, really came to the forefront. Now that effort is starting to bear fruit. Charlie's here with the story.
Thanks, Tamsin. In addition to being a Tony honoree and the production stage manager at Hadestown, Beverly Jenkins is also one of the founders of Broadway and Beyond. I got to meet with her outside of Hadestown to learn more about that. So Beverly Jenkins, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's
my
pleasure.
For sure. Start out by talking to us a little bit about Broadway and Beyond.
Broadway and Beyond is an organization that was started during the pandemic, and we started it because we started thinking about, to really address the inequalities in our business, systemic racism, the exclusion instead of inclusion. And I don't really believe anyone was doing it on purpose. It's just a matter of habit. And so we said, let's break this habit. Let's not have people call the 5 black stage managers that they know and ask us, hey, can you do this show? No, we can't do the show because I'm on another show. And so we said, let's introduce them to people. How do we do this? We started Broadway and Beyond, Access for Stage Managers of Color. Now, our goal is to get as many stage managers of color in front of the people who hire. And so what's the best way to do it? Zoom. Do it virtual. No one has to leave a home. People from all across the country, we even had a few international stage managers join us, can come and get in a room, meet people that they never would have even thought that they would have met before, especially in person. You would never get into some of these rooms.
I love that you're providing this platform for people who do similar things as you and who also look like you. Essentially, you're sharing the opportunities, but why do that? Why is that so important for you to do?
Because someone opened the door for me. And so who am I to tell someone that, oh no, I'm the only one? Because then what's that gonna do? We're gonna stand around and complain, why is she the only one? No, it's my obligation to open as many doors as I can, to put my hand down and bring up as many stage managers, not just black stage managers, Latino stage managers, Asian stage managers, Middle Eastern, wherever you come from. If you're a person of Native American, if you're a person of color, you need a hand in this business, and I am here to provide it. I've been blessed. I've been in this business on Broadway for 30 years. That's a long time for anybody to have consistent work. And so if the least I can do is to introduce stage managers of color to the people who I consider my friends and my co-workers so that they can have an easier time, because I know that they want to meet these people. It's just that in the circles that they're in, they don't know them.
Yeah, what's it been like for you working on Hadestown? It's a pretty big deal.
I love it. I love it. I didn't know it was a big deal until the first paid performance. And the energy in the room and the reaction from the audience, which is everything. Isn't that the reason why we do it? To give stories, to change people's lives, even if it's just for 10 minutes, if it's just for the 2 hours they're sitting there. it's give them something to take home and talk about. This story tells a fabulous story. It fills me up with joy just talking about it. That's why I'm tripping over my words, because it just fills me with joy knowing what kind of joy we bring to people. It's a fabulous story. And no, I did not know it was going to be the hit it is. I did not know it was going to change people's lives, and I'm grateful for it.
And that's going to do it for us. Until next time, I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show.